کاوش مدیا.
This is the group USAGM, also pronounced USAGM, which is a horrible acronym, but this is the US government's media arm. As I said, it oversees state media. Now, in order to understand what this is, we have to go back to the first Cold War. During the first Cold War, the US government created a series of propaganda outlets to spread disinformation. It's so funny hearing the US government accuse other countries of disinformation, because the United States has mastered the art of disinformation for decades. And during the first Cold War, the US government created first what was something called, actually the CIA specifically, the Central Intelligence Agency, created an organization that was known as Radio Liberation from Bolshevism. I mean, the name wasn't subtle. It's very clear what the point was. It was to spread propaganda and disinformation against the Soviet Union and allied socialist countries in the Eastern Bloc in order to destabilize and eventually overthrow their governments. This eventually changed its name and rebranded itself as Radio Liberty and Radio Free Europe. And then they combined and it became Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, RFERL. So in addition to Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty, the US government during the Cold War created a series of other propaganda outlets. Radio Free Asia was also created by the CIA after the Chinese Revolution in the early 1950s to spread propaganda to destabilize and overthrow the People's Republic of China, something that they're still trying to do in the new Cold War. And then the US government created something called Radio Martí, which is propaganda against Cuba and the leftist governments in Latin America. And then finally, there are a series of other outlets overseeing Arabic language broadcast in the Middle East. There's something called Radio Farda, which oversees Farsi or Persian language propaganda to destabilize Iran.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند